when it comes to betting on the Super Bowl, there is no shortage of novelty props that sports bettors can bet on. One of these novelty props that has become the most popular, or one of the most popular, is the color of the Gatorade bath. So in this video, I will be talking about betting on the Gatorade bath color for the Super Bowl, giving my predictions, my odds, previous winners, diving in significantly longer than necessary on the color of the Gatorade bath for the Super Bowl winner. So I will share my screen here, and right now OddsJam does have odds for the Super Bowl Gatorade color. It also has odds for a ton of other random markets, like we have MVP odds, MVP position, will there be a safety, a bunch of random future fun novelty props for everybody to bet on for the Super Bowl. So make sure that no matter what market you're betting on, even if it is a random one like the Gatorade color, that you use OddsJam to find the best odds. As of right now, not every sportsbook has odds posted, but as the week goes on, the weeks go on, we will have odds from every major sportsbook. Right now, we're just working with DraftKings. So right off the bat, couple things to note here. Let's talk about the odds first. So the betting favorite right now is orange, right? Orange is being offered at plus 350, which means basically for every $1 bet, you will make $3.50. So if you bet $10, you would profit 35. If you bet $100, you would profit 350. That's how the odds work in this case. Orange being the betting favorite does make a lot of sense. Last time and the only time the Chiefs won the Super Bowl 2 years ago with Andy Reid, the color was orange. So there is the precedent set there. That does make sense. Next up is blue at plus 400, tied with yellow / green for also for plus 400. Let's talk about blue for a second. So the Eagles are more of a green color. So you might ask yourself, okay, well, why is blue being favored, or why is blue one of the favorites here? It's because 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowl winners have been drenched with blue Gatorade. The Rams last year, the color was blue. The year before that, the Bucks, the color was blue. The Bucks uniforms aren't blue, but they were still bathed in blue Gatorade. Then obviously the year before that was the Chiefs. When they won the Super Bowl, that was the orange color. The year prior to that was the Patriots. They were blue. So recent history does suggest blue being a valuable option, which is why it's at plus 400. The reason why yellow and green is up there is because of the Eagles side of it. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, the guess here is that they will probably be drenched in the color yellow / green. When the Eagles, this is basically lemon lime. The reason why it is categorized as yellow / green, it's giving you lemon lime. Last time the Eagles won the Super Bowl 5 years ago, Doug Peterson was drenched in a color that was lemon lime. So there you have it. If I am giving my advice, it really doesn't make sense to place a bet on any of these that is outside of blue, orange, or yellow / green. I don't see a scenario in which it's any of these other colors. Red, pink, I don't see at plus 450 giving you the next best odds. Clear / water, I don't think makes a ton of sense as the next one. It was used like 4 straight years, or excuse me, yeah, it was used for 4 straight years back in like 2006 to 2009, something like that, but it hasn't been used since. So getting clear / water at plus 500 odds, I don't think makes a ton of sense. The next one, purple. The last time purple was used was when the Giants won their most recent Super Bowl, which was with Tom Coughlin years ago. I think that was 11, 12 years ago at this point when the Giants beat the Patriots for the second time. None is an option here because the curmudgeon Bill Belichick, the last time no Gatorade bath happened at all, also happened to be the only game that went to overtime. So I'm not necessarily, it's not actually Bill Belichick's fault why there was no Gatorade bath. It was probably because it was the only time the game went into overtime. The only time the Super Bowl, I should say, ever went into overtime. So really, when it comes down to the analysis, I could see the argument for blue. I could see the argument for orange and yellow / green. If I'm giving my analysis, the safest bet here is probably blue. As I mentioned, blue has been used for 3 out of the last 4 seasons, even with teams that didn't have their uniform colored blue. For example, the Bucks I mentioned, they were not, their uniform is not colored blue, but when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl with the Bucks, it was a blue Gatorade bath. Last year was blue. So the safest option I'm going to say is probably blue if I were to give my prediction. Now, depending on who you think is going to win, you could obviously get some value. If you think the Chiefs are going to win the game, then maybe a good way, instead of betting the Chiefs money line, is how about you bet the color orange for the Gatorade bath, getting that at plus 350. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, they're probably going to have an orange colored Gatorade. That's what happened last time. The precedent is there. As I mentioned, the only time in the past 4 years that wasn't blue, it was because it was orange. So if you do think the Chiefs are going to win straight up, it would make a ton of sense to have orange as your prediction here at plus 350 odds. Obviously, the same is true if you like the Eagles. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, the color was lemon lime, which is what this is being dictated here. So if you think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, how about you just, instead of betting on their money line, you can get plus 400 odds to get this at yellow/green. So it all depends on what you would like to do. Because the odds are so favorable, they're all for plus money. You could theoretically bet on multiple options here. You could bet on both orange and yellow/green because the odds are so favorable that if you think that it's going to be team specific, no matter who, if the Eagles or Chiefs win, they're not going to have an agnostic blue like they've had 3 out of the past 4 years. They're going to have a team specific color, like when the Chiefs won, like when the Eagles won. Just put whatever amount that you're comfortable betting on both orange and yellow/green, as long as you're comfortable. If it's none of them, obviously there is the risk there. But my analysis, it's definitely, according to me, this isn't sourced or anything. I think that it's definitely going to be one of blue, orange, or yellow/green. So any of those 3 I can make the argument for. As I mentioned, for me, as you can see in the background here, I'm an Eagles fan. Of course, I have to go with yellow/green. The value is on the Eagles winning if you just look at the odds themselves, which I mentioned in my Super Bowl betting preview. So I'm going to put my money on yellow/green. Going to go ahead and lock this in on DraftKings, which is where we are pulling odds from currently. But I can make the argument for blue and orange, as I mentioned. So I will leave the decision entirely up to you, but that is going to be it for this video, going deeper than anybody needed to when it comes to the color of the Gatorade bath. And that's it. So if you're locking in one of these, if you're locking in a different one than the top 3 I mentioned, comment and let me know. Other than that, would appreciate it if you could like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Going to have a ton of different novelty props coming out for you guys. So appreciate you watching and have a good one.